Hey everyone. So today I'm going to be working on a few things. I need to reorganize the beats because, you know, there's a moment where you have to decide whether you're going to stick to this kind of formulaic beat structure that the book offers. And I mean this book. Where is it? This book. So yeah, there's a formula. But now I've realized that the formula isn't allowing me to tell the story I want to tell. And it specifically happens around the B story to fun and games transition. So I need to decide whether I'm going to force the story into its structure or if I need to change the structure in order to create the rhythm that I want. And obviously I'm going to go for that. And I'm a little worried because, you know, I've never really written a script before. So I don't think I have the the right to change something I don't understand completely. But I'm gonna do it anyways, just because intuitively I just feel that it'll help the story. It'll tell a specific story in a better way. Actually, let me tell you a little bit more about the beat structure and how it normally works. So this is kind of like the rundown. So it starts, well, it has 15 beats in total, and it goes opening image, theme stated, setup, catalyst, debate, break into two, which is basically act two, B story, fun and games, midpoint, bad guy closes in, all is lost, dark night of the soul, act three, or break into three, and final, and then final image. This structure is basically like the typical Hollywood story structure that they use. And it works. It works a lot of the time. Now, the opening image is usually, you know, the thing you want to show that kind of presents the world, presents the idea of your movie in the clearest way. Theme stated is usually at the beginning of the story, or it should be, and it kind of introduces the audience and the characters to the subject matter that we're going to be exploring. So theme is super important because theme is not something necessarily that you discuss and solve through conversation. Theme is more of the actions that take place in the story that exemplify them. So if we're exploring, for example, the ideas of love or war or whatever, then instead of talking about it, you know, nobody wants to see people talk about it. We want to see the example. We want to see, you know, what war really is, what love really is. And so the characters will be exploring theme based on their actions, based on their stories. So theme, at the beginning, we can ask a question about the theme. We can say, you know, what is true love, or what constitutes, you know, war. And then the story, the movie itself explores those themes. So at least that's how I understand it. So that's theme stated. Setup. So what setup basically is, to my understanding, is when we're kind of establishing all the rules of the world, all the rules of the characters and who they are, and we're trying to show them where they're starting from in order to kind of get the story going, in order to say, okay, everybody's in place, all the pieces are in place, you know, we have all the rules. Now we can implement the next step, which is basically the catalyst. The catalyst is usually an event or some kind of thing that pushes the story to kind of explore the themes, explore who these characters are and how they respond to this moment. And this moment really should push a character in their most primal sense to survive in a certain way. You know, it really just kind of sets a situation so that the characters can respond to it. So that's very important. And the debate, which is connected, I mean, these are all connected sequentially, but the debate is basically all the characters and all the reasonings fighting between what they should do. And it's literally just like playing with the characters so that each of them have their own opinions and how they should kind of handle situations or the specific situation you put them in. And then from there, you go into break into two, which is basically getting them to that place where they start to kind of experiment with their opinions, and that is where the action starts to happen. That is where the characters actually begin their quest, in a sense. So all these things are kind of like part of the setup, and then once you get to break into 2, that's when they go to, you could say, the underbelly, or this new world that they have to experience in order to resolve their issue, or get to the conclusion of the story. So that's literally like, yeah, it's getting to that place that we all kind of want to understand more. B story, it's like the primary character, he has or she has their own opinion on certain things, and the B character and the B story gives them a different perspective that kind of insinuates a different way of looking at the problem, or a different way of handling the problem. And they have to kind of, throughout the story, figure out how to unify both their way of being with this new way of thinking, and kind of resolve it to have a complete objective idea of how to approach certain problems in the story. Yeah, so that's why they usually relegate it to the love story, because it represents, getting closer to another way of thinking, or getting closer to another way of feeling about certain things. But you can also, like, mix it up and just have like just a secondary way of thinking about it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a love story, but it's almost like a secondary idea to the themes. And then fun and games, and mind you, this is where I'm stuck. I'm stuck between B story and fun and games, or these 3 right here: break into 2, B story, and fun and games. I'm trying to get this part clear, because everything here is kind of, I don't know, like I don't know why I'm stuck, honestly. I feel like I want to set up the best possible way of showing the themes, and I think the themes are mostly represented in these areas. And then after that, it's kind of like the resolution, like resolving all those things by confronting the enemies of the character, right? Confronting the situations. So in my head, I feel like break into 2, B story, and fun and games, that's the area where you show the main issues and the primary kind of contention that the main character is experiencing. And so that's where the coolest shots are going to be, in my opinion. That's where specifically the fun and games, that's where a lot of the trailers are made, and we see the previews, and all the cool shots are done here. And that's just kind of like, giving into the promise of what people expect to see in the film. This is what people kind of go to the movies for. They want to see, that crazy, creature design. They want to see explosions and all the fun stuff that we enjoy. This spectacle, you could think of it like that, the spectacle. But it's good to attach the spectacle to meaning, or else it's just like pointless. But yeah, so this is the issue I'm at right now. Once I get to the other parts of the story and the other beats, I'll try to kind of define them. But yeah, I honestly think if your story requires you to change the formula in order to tell it in a way that'll improve, how you express the themes, I think it's better to do it that way. You can stick to the formula, but sometimes you just need to change things. Sometimes you just need to do it, and you need to be confident about it. So I'm gonna try to be confident about this, even though I've never done this before. And we'll see what happens. I might fuck it up. I might mess it up. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. But in the meantime, again, pick up this book if you're interested in learning this kind of formula, learning this kind of recipe. I still think it's very helpful. But yeah, you can't be a slave to it. That's all. So that's it for today. I'll share more with you guys in the next video, and I'll see where things go. So let's keep making art.